And eventually what happens, the kid outgrows the Dugsi system. There wasn't a proper exit plan. So what happens? Like the kid just explodes one day and says, I don't want to go to Dugsi anymore. I don't want to be there anymore. I was there for a decade. I'm done with it. You can't force me to take me there anymore. I'm out of this cycle. The daycare, I'm out of it. The Dugsi, I'm out of it. And what do? This starts a new journey for the young child, a new journey of misguidance. Assalamu alaikum, guys. How you doing? Good to see you. Today we're on our third issue in diagnosing the Minnesota madness. And we're here to talk about one of the most sensitive topics, which is the Dugsi system and the impact it has had on the young Somali children in the West for the past decade or so. Now, before we start the heavy criticism of the Dugsi system, we want to say, all right, Jazakumullahu khairan. Yani the Dugsi system has really been the backbone of the Somali community in terms of Deen, in terms of culture, in terms of many other traditional benefits that we have. It's because of the Dugsi system. So we want to say to all of our teachers, my teachers, and all of us as teachers growing up, we all went to the Dugsi system, and it's the one core thing that has really yani, connected our identity, all of us, right? And we love it. And alhamdulillah, it's something that we're proud of to have. But there are setbacks, there are failures within the system that we want to discuss today. So before we begin, we want to say to all of our teachers, Jazakumullahu khairan, we love you, hear us out. Here is the first heavy criticism when it comes to the Dugsi system. Number one, lack of structure and design. Lack of structure and design. What do I mean by that? A kid could come into the Dugsi system, sit in there for 5 to 10 years, and he could easily get lost in the system. There's no form of accountability in most cases. There isn't a system individually, maybe classroom accountability there, but there's no system-wide accountability, okay? There's no system-wide accountability. What do I mean by that? For example, if you're in ninth grade, you're expected to graduate high school within 4 years, okay? If you're in elementary school, you're expected to leave elementary school after 5th grade. If you're in middle school, you're expected to leave after 8th grade. The Dugsi system doesn't have a system like that, right? I was a teacher for 6 years, a student a long time, and then a teacher for 6 years. One of the things I could not establish, I could not get the administration to understand was, hey, let's build a system-wide structure for the whole Dugsi. What do I mean by that? For example, let's say in the reading and writing part, how to learn how to read Arabic part, a kid could spend, in the span 1 year. Within 1 year, they have to graduate from now. Okay. And then what? There are 30 juz's in the Quran. Let's say every year, 5 juz's is required for you to complete. Meaning there's going to be 6 levels. 6 times 5 is 30 juz. Every year you're expected to do 5 juz, 5 juz, 5 juz, 5 juz, 5 juz. Okay? Adding up to the 30 juz. And every year you're expected to finish your 5 juz. You cannot fall behind. Everybody knows, the teachers know, the administration knows, hey, and the parents know. Okay, within that year, you're supposed to finish Juz Amma to Haqaf. No doubt about it. Okay? No leeway. You gotta finish this. Okay? And then after a 6-year period, the kid graduates from the Dugsi system. All right? There's pressure to graduate. There's pressure to learn. And it's a systematic pressure. It's not just the mu'allim who's always putting the pressure on the child or the parents. No, it's a communal pressure to make sure in a 6-year period, add the 1 year to learn how to read and write, a kid is out of the Dugsi system. Okay? After that, they go into a ma'had, Islamic studies, full intensive program, right? And you're good. But now, what's happening in the Dugsi system now? So the entrance to come in is super huge. Imagine a big pipe, right? Maybe I'll do a drawing here, okay? Imagine a big pipe of everybody's coming in. But the exit is very small. The only exit plan to get out of the Dugsi system is to finish the Quran and become a Hafiz. And that's not realistic. Most people are not designed to become Hafiz. Either they don't have the brain capacity, the time, the situation, or the effort. They don't have that type of a leverage. To say that every child, thousands of kids, and the requirement is for you to become a Hafiz, it's not a realistic approach for the Dugsi system. Okay, it's not. What we need to do is we need to build, a 7-year system. Okay, a 7-year system. 1 year reading and writing, 6 year, 5 years every program. you go over the Quran, and then we do a different type of a grading system. For example, not everybody's going to be an A student. It's not realistic. We have A student, B student, C student, and a D student. Okay, that's the reality. And there are going to be some F students. That's the reality of life. But to categorize everybody into one expectation, it is not a realistic structure or design. And so we need to change it so that the Dugsi system caters to everybody and not the cream of the crop. The second issue we have with the Dugsi system is that there is more focus on memorization than understanding. Right? Billah alaykum, look at the environment we live in. Right? Uh, if you haven't seen the last video, check it out. The public school system is polluting the young children, their aqidah, their iman. When they go to the outside world, it's going to be a super toxic environment. Right? They're with you for a decade or so. Most kids are in the Dugsi system for over a decade. Right? Some of them, they don't even know what La ilaha illallah means. And he was in the Dugsi system for over a decade. How is that fair, ya akhu? How is that fair? What is the goal of the Dugsi? Is it to teach the kid the Deen and the things that they need in order to survive in the real world, in the outside world? Or is it to make the parents happy? Because many times when I speak to the teachers and we have these deep discussions about these issues, they say, Najib, this is what the parents want. And so in a way, we have to cater to what they want. And I tell them, no, you're a doctor, and the doctor doesn't listen to the patient. All right? Imagine if every doctor just listened to the patient. Hey, what medication do you want? Doctor, I want this and this. Give it to me right now. We would see that as craziness. And so as a mu'allim, running a Dugsi, or you're part of the teachers or you're part of the board, what you have to do is we have to reprioritize what is the main goal of the Dugsi. It is to educate and build the Deen and the aqidah of the young Muslim children. Later on, as long as we build their hearts, if they want to become a hafiz, if they want to learn the Quran, if they want to do qira'at, if they want to become a sheikh or a alim or anything like that, it is up to them. It is not wajib for them to become a hafiz. But what is wajib is for them to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have proper aqidah, to have proper understanding of the Deen so that they can defend themselves when they go outside into the real world. Issue number 3 is relationship building. All right, these kids are exposed to many different people. They're exposed to non-Muslim. They have non-Muslim teachers. They go to non-Muslim environments. They're interacting with different people all the time, right? And for some reason, all of those other relationships, they're all using mercy, gifts, all these different soft approaches to win the kids' hearts. You come to the Dugsi, the ma'alim is strong. And I get it. It's needed to some extent. But the child has to know that you're doing this out of his best interest. And it's out of care and not out of enmity or out of hatred or out of meanness or just to be mean. Because a lot of these, especially the Gen Z kids, they see, harsh treatment as a hateful act. We used to see the, harshful treatment from a teacher or a parent, as tough love. They don't see it that way. So I see many people leave the Dugsi system and they end up hating it. And in return, it has an impact on the way they look at their Deen and the way they interact with the masjid and the community. And when they see a guy a guy like me, I go to a university to give a halaqah, and the people who want to shut down the halaqah are who? The kids who had a tough time in the Dugsi system because their teacher didn't have a good relationship with them. You could be tough. You could be hard on them. But you as a Dugsi mu'allim teacher, have to realize that you have to, at the end of the day, make sure this kid, he knows that you care about him. You're doing this out of the best interest for him and beyond. But if you're just harsh because, the parents love harshness, you're doing a disservice to the community. You're not adding any value to the young Muslim children that are suffering out there. You're doing a disservice. And I understand many teachers and the students, they live in two different worlds. So the Duksi's administration is to make sure they bridge this. If you're running a Dugsi, your job is to bridge this connection. Because many Dugsis, the teachers live in one world and the students live in a different world, right? And there's often many clashes. And the parents, most of the time, they fuel this clash. The parent couldn't do their job, and so what do they tell the teacher? Ma'alim, he didn't do this. And so what happens? They're fighting all the time. Years go by and they're fighting all the time. He didn't do this. And so what happens? They're fighting all the time. Years go by and they're fighting all the time. and the student despises the teacher, and the teacher despises the student. And eventually, what happens? The kid outgrows the Dugsi system. There wasn't a proper exit plan. So what happens? Like what we spoke on number one, issue number one, the kid just explodes one day and says, I don't want to go to Dugsi anymore. I don't want to be there anymore. I was there for a decade. I'm done with it. You can't force me to take me there anymore. I'm out of this cycle. The daycare, I'm out of it. The Dugsi, I'm out of it. And what do? This starts a new journey for the young child, a new journey of misguidance. The place of Deen, bad relationship. At home, bad relationship. Their childhood, institutionalized. And so what happens? A journey of misguidance starts at this point. And then we want to now just be like, oh, these kids are a problem, this. No, the adults are the problem. We are the problem, all right? They are a product of us. And it's tough holding each other accountable. It's tough. But to come back to the Dugsi system, solutions for every Dugsi needs to build a structure and a design, a start point and an end point, something that can easily be understood. Number two, we need to focus on understanding and not memorization. It's done. Memorization, a person can do it on their own. If they can memorize Juz Amma, Alhamdulillah. The rest, Aqidah, Fiqh, Sharia, beyond. Give them the tools that they need in order to survive in the real world. Billah alaykum, ittaqillah, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number three, relationship building. We want to see more teachers hanging out with their students outside of Dugsi hours. We need activities outside of Dugsi hours. How often do you see the Dugsi teacher and the student hanging out outside of Dugsi hours? We need to see that. We need to see that. Barakallahu feekum. I have not done justice to this topic. It's a very big topic, and inshallah, maybe sometime down the future, when we're out of this Minnesota Madness series, we can discuss the deeper issues impacting the Dugsi system and how we can better improve it. But like I said, the teachers, they're working hard, and they don't have many resources. And I understand many of the other issues that we're discussing are impacting you and your progress. Yes, that's true. In all honesty, the Dugsi's hands are sometimes tied. No doubt about it. But we're holding you guys accountable on these three things. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for you. We love you and we hope the best for you. And inshallah, we want to see results from you guys. Barakallahu feekum. Stay tuned for the next part because it's going to be broken families and the impact it has had on the Minnesota Madness. See you guys.